Welcome to the Words Online subtitling training for software. This video will introduce you to subtitling and how to post-edit subtitles for software. These jobs will come from clients who produce software and instruction videos to go with them. The videos we are post-editing are aimed at the software user, which we must bear in mind when making decisions about the target. The target must be clear and accurate to ensure that the customer is able to use the client's software. You'll be working as a post editor, which means you will be assessing and making changes to a machine-generated target text. There are three main types of machine translation: rules-based, statistical, and neural. They each have their strengths and weaknesses. For example, rules-based machine translation won't add or omit information, but may well be very unnatural in terms of grammar or word order. Statistical machine translation is more fluid, but can introduce specific errors such as extra information which form part of a past translation in its memory. It is therefore important to know what you are dealing with so you are alert to the errors you will need to fix. The role of the post editor is to check and edit the machine translation to produce a target which reaches the agreed quality level. You may also be asked to provide feedback on MT quality and recurrent errors. When post editing, you should read the source and then the machine translated target and make a quick assessment as to whether the MT should be edited or completely retranslated. The MT should form the basis of the final target as far as possible. Make sure you are familiar with the guidelines for your specific project before starting, as each client has different MTPE expectations. And always be aware of the common machine translation errors which may be highlighted in the project instructions. For example, the machine may translate brand names where these are do not translate terms, it may add or omit information, or it may translate due to not knowing context. It is particularly important when post-editing to know the client's quality expectations. Traditionally, there are two levels of post-editing, light and full. Light post-editing aims to create a comprehensible text. Full post-editing creates a product comparable to human translation. However, in reality, all clients have different expectations, and therefore we ask for post-editing in line with the provided guidelines rather than either full or light post-editing. Your work will be revised and you will be sent feedback on it. In this project, the reviser will be making any necessary improvements to your work and they will be producing the final file. You will be marked using a QMS form, which will include the categories such as style, fluency, accuracy, and compliance with client instructions. Errors will be rated as critical, major, or minor, and you will generally receive a score as well to give you an indication of your performance. When assessing your quality, we will also be looking at some localization elements which will be noted in the instructions. For example, that imperial measurements have been converted to metric if appropriate, that the correct target date format is used, and that periods and thousands separators are used correctly. One of the most important things to do accurately when handling software documentation in particular is correctly identifying and translating user interface or UI items, sometimes also called software options. UI items are words you will see around the software product, such as on toolbars or menus. For example, on screen you can see a toolbar from Microsoft PowerPoint. If any of the words from that toolbar appeared in your text, they would be UI items. You would need to identify them, look them up in the software glossary, and ensure that you use the correct term for the product you are working on. Note that you do need to know the product you are working on, as some UI items may be translated differently from product to product, even for the same client. Have a look at the blue text on screen. You can see that bold is used both to highlight the word note, but also all language pair letters. This isn't for emphasis on the second example, this shows that it is a UI item. Tags may also be used to show UI items. The key words when post-editing subtitles are clarity and brevity. Subtitles have specific constraints which don't apply to any other kind of translation, and therefore keeping the text brief is very important. However, this brevity must not come at the cost of the ease of understanding. Because these subtitles will be read whilst the viewer is watching the video, they must be clear and easily readable. Before you start work on a subtitling task, make sure you have all the required reference materials. This will include project instructions and a quick start guide to Subtitle Edit, which is the subtitling software we ask you to use. You should also have a software glossary. Good subtitling makes it possible to watch the video without feeling it has been interrupted by the reading. A key part of this is subtitles which appear on screen at the right time and which are easily read in the time they remain there. These decisions on when and for how long subtitles should appear is called spotting. This has already been done for the files you are working on, but you should still consider whether the audience will be able to read through your subtitles while still following the events in the video. Your main focus, though, is to post-edit the machine translation within the constraints set out in the instructions to create a clear, brief target text. Subtitles should never be longer than 2 lines, and you should be careful about where you insert the line breaks. There are also character constraints. Usually each line is between 30 and 40 characters. The exact number will be specified in the project instructions. For a long subtitle, you may need to use the 2 lines. The break should not interrupt a phrase, for example splitting a noun from an adjective or a noun from a verb. Place the break where it will seem natural. This may be different to where it is placed in the source. Subtitle Edit is free open source software which you can easily search for and download. For each task, you will be sent separate source and target files. To import these, open Subtitle Edit and use File Open to import the target file. Now when you go to the File menu, you will see the option Open Original Subtitle, which you can use to import the source file. You can now edit the machine translated target subtitles. By default, the target is on the left with the source on the right. Please do not edit the source. There are a few features to help you check the length of your subtitles. At the bottom left of the target box, you can see the single length indicator. This will be in red if you go over the stated character limits. If your cumulative character count goes over the set reading speed, the segment will be highlighted in red in the overview box above, as shown on screen. There is also a built-in spell check which you must run before submitting your files. In order for the flags in the editing screen to be effective, you must check that the options are correctly set for your project. To do this, go to Options on the top ribbon, then click Settings, and you will see the following box. We will be focusing on 3 options on the left: single line max length, max words per minute, and max number of lines. These figures should be given in the project instructions. The maximum words per minute may be given as the maximum reading speed. Check that the settings match those you have been given and click OK. You are now ready to edit your file. Thank you for watching the Subtitling and Software video. Please now take the test.